All right, let's dive right in. We're always hearing about AI that lives up in the cloud. But what if the next big leap for AI wasn't in some giant data center, but right here on the devices we carry in our pockets? That's exactly the idea behind Embedding Gemma.
So let's start with a really simple but kind of mind-blowing question. What if your favorite AI features didn't need a Wi-Fi signal? What if they didn't need a data plan at all? What if they just worked instantly, privately, and yeah, completely offline? That's the exact problem on-device AI is built to solve.
To really get why this is such a game changer, we first have to talk about how most AI works right now. Pretty much everything relies on the cloud, and that comes with some real limitations.
Yeah, the whole cloud AI model has a bit of a trade-off. It's incredibly powerful, for sure, but it's also dependent on a few things. First, connectivity. No internet, no AI. Simple as that. Second, it means you have to send your data to some server somewhere, which, brings up privacy questions. And third, there's always that tiny bit of lag, right? That split-second delay while your request travels to the cloud and back. On-device AI just flips that whole equation around.
And that's where the star of our show comes in, Embedding Gemma. This is Google's latest model, and it's been designed from the ground up to get around all those cloud limitations and put powerful AI experiences right on your own hardware.
Now, to get how this works, there's one key term we gotta unpack: embeddings. The absolute best way to think about an embedding is like a universal translator for ideas. It takes our human language, a text, a note, whatever, and turns it into a unique numerical fingerprint. This fingerprint is special because it captures the meaning of the text in a language that AI can instantly process.
So how does that actually play out? Well, you start with some text. Then Embedding Gemma does its thing, creating that numerical fingerprint. The technical term is a vector. From there, other AI systems can use that vector to truly understand what you mean and do stuff like find exactly what you're searching for, even if you don't use the perfect keywords. But wait, the big question is, how in the world do you fit something this smart onto a phone? Well, the secret is in its design. It was built from day one to be unbelievably small, incredibly fast, and super efficient. Get this number in your head: 300 megabytes. That's all the RAM this model needs to run. That is just remarkably small. And it's possible because of a really smart technique called quantization-aware training. Think of it like this. It's like taking a giant high-resolution image and compressing it into a much smaller file that still looks incredibly sharp. It shrinks the model's footprint without really hurting performance. And it's not just small, it's flexible. So the model can create these super detailed embeddings, but developers can also shrink the output if they need to save space. This comes from a really clever idea called Matryoshka representation learning. Yep, named after those Russian nesting dolls. The AI basically creates a big, detailed doll that has smaller, simpler versions of itself tucked inside, letting developers pick the perfect size for what they're building.
Plus, this thing is global. It was trained on and understands over 100 languages. That means developers can build apps that work for people all over the world, right out of the box. No extra work needed.
And listen, this isn't just about being small. It's about being the best in its class. For models in its weight class, that's under 500 million parameters, Embedding Gemma hit the top score on the industry's gold standard test. So what you're getting is truly state-of-the-art quality, just packed into this tiny, efficient package. Okay, so we've got this small, powerful, top-of-the-line model. But what does that all mean for maybe the most important thing of all? Your privacy. Well, when the AI lives on your device, the whole dynamic changes. The promise is so simple. Your data stays yours.
Because all the processing, all the thinking happens right there locally. Your sensitive information, your messages, your documents, your private notes, never leaves your device. It never gets sent to a server in the cloud. It's just fundamentally more private by its very design.
And that, of course, means it's totally offline. You could be on an airplane, deep in a subway tunnel, or hiking out in the middle of nowhere. Those powerful AI features that need to understand your personal data, they'll still work perfectly. No internet required. And finally, speed. When you get rid of that round trip to the cloud, the lag just vanishes. Everything feels quicker, smoother, and instantly responsive. It's like the AI becomes a natural, seamless part of your device. Okay, so we've established we have this private, offline, super fast AI engine. What does this actually let us do? What kind of new things can we build into our everyday apps with this tech?
Well, this opens the door to a whole new world of intelligent features. We're talking about search that understands meaning, not just keywords. Think about apps that can instantly pull up the right information from your own data, which leads to responses that are way more personalized and genuinely helpful.
Here's a perfect little example for you. Imagine you're typing a note to yourself about some damaged floorboards in the living room. Because the AI is running locally and understands the context of your data, it could proactively suggest your carpenter's contact info. It just connects the dots for you privately and helpfully right when you need it.
Let's walk through another real-world scenario. Say you're browsing the web. A browser extension running Embedding Gemma could be creating a numerical fingerprint for every page you visit in real time, right on your machine. Later, even with no internet, you could just ask a question like, what was that article I read about saving for retirement? And it would instantly search your entire browsing history to pull up the most relevant links.
You can see where all of this is heading. The future of truly personal, truly helpful AI is looking more and more like it's on device. It's all about bringing that intelligence closer to us, closer to where our data lives, making everything more private, more responsive, and way more useful.
And here's the really exciting part. This isn't some far-off theory. It's available right now. This model is open for everyone. Developers can download it today, fine-tune it for their specific needs, and it already works with all the popular tools in the AI community. The resources are there for people to start building these amazing new experiences, which, of course, leaves us with one final and I think fascinating question. When AI becomes truly personal, when it's private, it's offline, and it's woven into the very fabric of the devices we use every single day, what amazing new things will we build with it? What problems are we going to solve? The possibilities, well, they're just starting to open up.